Well, hello everybody. Welcome to my show. Um, just got home not like hours ago and everything. Took a little nap. Still tired, but we're here live. Just chilling out and just watching. Just got done watching the Super Bowl and everything. First of all, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. Wanted the Niners to win, but things happen for a reason. But they played their hearts out and you know call it a day on them. Now they're Super Bowl champions. But what am I about to say? I'm just exhausted right now. I had a good time at Sangawa. For someone who just came from Sangawa, we had a great time there. The panel was successful with wrestling and everything. There was a lot of folks that was there. Also, somebody threw a chair. I'll get dig deep into that. But in the meantime, just chilling out. Just sum up my time at Sangawa. If y'all not familiar with Sangawa Project, it's an 18 on up social and everything. It's a real good social. If you they're gonna come back around again, hopefully. Well, they will. Oh, Inside Out too. Well, also have been paying attention to the Super Bowl commercials as well too. So, oh man, I am tired. Give me a second, real quick. Sharing this and everything. Let everybody know I'm online. Oh wow. Hey, what's going on, everybody? You know, so my time at Singala Project. You know, we check in, we do our thing. Me and my fiance, we were just chilling out. Just having fun. And the whole layout was nice. It was at the DoubleTree Hotel this year. I enjoyed myself there. You know, um, Caught up with some friends. You know, talk, drink a little. We all had a good time. We caught up. You know, um, we always call the Sangawa Project the uncle of you know the Pittsburgh Japanese Cultural Society. They're like that's the uncle of the event. The cool uncle always come around like, oh yeah, let's have a good time, let's have fun, and that's what the Sagala Project, was just chill, laying back, kicking it with your friends and everything, talk anime. In my case, I was talking about wrestling, which is needed like in you know Japanese pop culture. Because it's big, it's huge over there. And my goal was to. Oh, this is generic music. So it's really generic. So I'm good. I'm good. I made sure it's like the most generic music of all time. So my stream's good right now with that. But as far as that goes, like we just had a good time. Hey, what's up, Unc? What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? um, I was just like, we was just like chilling. Like I said, catching up with friends and everything. Just talking about wrestling. Of course, there was a cardboard cutout of Rhea Ripley floating around. Yeah, it was the funnest moment of my life. Just seeing like the reaction of like everybody, like, oh my goodness, who's that? One lady. Oh, thank you very much. So, um, just having that cardboard cutout, Rhea Ripley, it brought a lot of joy to a lot of folks. From the standpoint in the hotel, you see some lady like, "Oh my god, I thought that was a actual person," to the folks like, "Oh my goodness, it, it's Rhea Ripley, oh my god." And then you have some folks doing like, I love mommy, 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 mommy. You know, I'm gonna get a little bit of detail of that too, let y'all know on that. Um, it was just a whole ball of fun. You know, first the social was amazing. That's what I missed. Just drinking, hanging out with some friends. You know, in a hotel, just had a good time, just had fun, just talking. Talking about what drink was good and what drink was like, hey, don't sleep the man. She's coming back. Yeah, I'm not gonna sleep on Becky Lynch. We just talked about that last night too. She gonna win the Rumble. I got her winning the Rumble actually. So I mean, not the Rumble, the Elimination Chamber. My bad. So I got her winning that. I'll cover that shortly. Um, Doing a little recap on everything what I was doing at Sangawa Project and my fun and everything. Um, you know, Once we just chilled out and everything and stuff, just having fun with some of the panels and everything. There was one panel like, you know, chick was like throwing ramen noodles because she had a wheel and it had like different things on the wheel and stuff. But for some odd, strange reason, it just kept landing on the ramen part of the wheel and just fireworks and everything. She just tossing, just chucking these chicken flavored ramen noodles at everybody because it's ramen. And of course, everybody was chanting ramen, ramen, ramen. Also, Don Bar, his panel. I went into a couple of his panels. Sorry, if he's watching or out there somewhere. I'm sorry if I didn't hear your rant about your Godzilla rant on. I forgot who it was. He was ranting on, but hopefully one day I'll catch up on that. But I did see your one panel about how certain like things like transpire, like how things are in the United States to like what the United States and Japan certain shows have in common or some point, or what shows rip what shows. I don't know, but I'll hit you up on that and see what it was all about. But um, it's Kathy. She's nice. My fiance went to her panel. Amazing panel, she said. And then she went to like the Secret Santa. She got some grandma cookies and everything. Pretty good stuff. I loved it. But um, currently, just catching up with some friends and stuff. Give me a second. Yeah, just catching up with some friends. Finally. So why did I do it? Like right now, like, sorry, I'm exhausted. Like I said. So what I did at Sangawa Project with my panel and everything, we was just talking about wrestling. Um, it was a very successful panel. My fiance was surprised on how much knowledge I know about wrestling and everything. Up there goes Taylor Swift. Um, she was just surprised out in the crowd, like, you know all this about wrestling? Yeah, I grew up with wrestling. I was born, raised, you know, having fun with wrestlers and everything. Of course, Macho Man was one of my favorite wrestlers and everything. I had a cousin, who put me in sharpshooters and like different move sets and everything and stuff. But what we was covering in my panel was the slap, the elimination chamber, the What else I did? Um, Big business. Uh, then we had covered something called shoot to the moon. That means like shoot to the moon means what wrestler would you like to see be shot? You know, to like what do you like? What wrestler do you like to see move to? You know, should be like winning belts. Who be like top tier, but they're not giving them enough credit. And then lastly, I had like a thing called shoot a promo. I gave them a situation, and then everybody shoots a promo. That part was funny because everybody had like, oh my goodness, I don't know how to like, you know, shooting the promo right from rip. Like you gotta fake it and just shoot it, like whatever the situation was. So one of the guys who like shot a promo and everything, uh, he flipped the chair. He was too much like I don't know what it was. Probably he was a little, underneath the underneath the influence or anything, but he was too much into character. I respect that, but I don't want nobody to damage the chair or anything parts of the hotel because that's coming out of their pocket, But we covered just about everything at this panel, which it was pretty cool. I know there's a lot more news coming in. Kata just had his last match and everything for Japan. Now he's probably going to move to probably either TNA. What I'm hearing from, he's going to be signing like a nice figure from TNA, and also, I was thinking it was going to no AEW. My bad. Let me reiterate AEW. Um, he was talking about something about AEW coming into AEW. Sounding like this like 3 year like crazy contract for AEW. But I was saying like he should go to TNA because some of this stuff is like really over at TNA, and but also TNA have like Denver money now a little bit, so we'll see about that. But you know, back to Sangawa, um, just had a good time. Like what is my mission behind this? Sorry. Um, oops, sorry. Let me undo that real quick. Okay, we're back. Sorry. Let me talk to somebody real quick here. Put this out real quick. Let everybody know I'm live. I'm live. Like, let's have fun. All right. So I'm live again. So back what I was saying. Um, my panel was successful. A lot of folks' panel successful. Uh, it had like a nice number, like a turnout, like 350, like Congoers, like 400 between that number. I think it was. I forgot what the number was, but it was a nice show out, and I respect that. And will I do it again? Yeah, I'm going to come back to Sangawa, do a wrestling panel, but I'm going to have another panel as well. So the other panel is like shoot a promo, and that's probably one of the hardest things to do. Give you a situation, I want you to do your best to shoot a promo. Yeah, and that'll be it's okay, child. So we're gonna do that, and also like going to Techo. That's coming up in the summer. If y'all are not familiar with Techo, it's is it going to be at the David L. Convention Center? I'm going to pull all that information out somewhere down the line, and we're going to talk about some wrestling once more.
It'll be July 18th. through July 21st.
That's what my daughter said. So hopefully we're going to do that like from there. Um, just you know, putting the word out and everything. So, what is my main goal? Of this? Hopefully, somebody's on here to hear my goal on this. I have a bucket load of goal at this point. So, my goal is this. I want to spread wrestling out in the scene of Pittsburgh a little bit. I know there's some folks that love it, and everything, but the biggest issue with wrestling in Pittsburgh, especially in the con scene, anime con scene, people have this nasty tendency of saying it doesn't belong here. It doesn't belong in a anime pop culture scene because it doesn't exist. Which that's a lie because it exists. Wrestling exists in every known culture known to man, and especially in Japan. Like, it is huge over in Japan. Like, people will fight you. I'm just kidding. People take wrestling seriously in Japan. At one point, one of their matches was on sacred grounds. That's how strong, like, the wrestling culture is over in Japan, man. One of the biggest matches of all time was in Japan. Like, all these things that you know, we forget about, like this. It exists. It's always been an existing factor, and when people sit up here and say it doesn't exist in a like calm like anime, and you know it does exist. And my goal is trying to let everybody know, man, hey man, it should exist here. And everybody should be have an inclusive factor on this. Okay, so my TV's telling me thank you for tuning in for the Super Bowl 4K post. So I gotta change the channel. So basically this game's over. Thank you goodness. Off to the draft. Anyway, um, like I said, man, like my goal is to bring wrestling back, like make it, you know, acceptable. Like it should be acceptable in any cons of anything dealing with Japan culture, pop culture, and it's huge in pop culture. Especially here, and what I'm doing is I'm going to try to do my best to bring that back. And when folks sit up here and say, it doesn't belong, it should belong. You have folks, not folks, but characters, your favorite anime characters and everything, doing suplexes, fireman's carries, lariats, shiny wizards, and things like that. And it doesn't belong. That's like me telling them, like, oh, that wrestling move doesn't belong in anime. But it does, because it's so huge in Japan. Japanese culture love it, man. And I'm happy that, I'm bringing it to light, shine some light a little bit more into the, con scene in Pittsburgh. Especially Techo. I remember they had wrestling here at Techo, and like the first reaction folks got, it doesn't belong. It does belong. Whoever's watching, thank you for watching. I'm going over a lot of things about wrestling and Japanese pop culture. Does it belong? Yes, it does belong. And I was talking about, my time at Sangawa Project. It's pretty good, and hopefully I'm going to push that to not push it to a point like go off the edge. I want to make sure folks are literally aware this is a good thing to have. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back because my TV just went off. Just trying to keep up on things. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. Give me a second. Here. Sorry, I am freaking tired. Jeez, Timu. So, just Timu paid $35 million just to be on the Super Bowl. 35 million. That's a lot of money. Of course, everybody bad from Timu. But back what I was saying, you know, my main goal is just to get it going. Um, Pretty soon, I'm going to probably work with one of like my cousin, and I'm going to start selling Merc. I want to try to start, ringside manifesto Merc. So, um, one of the things I want to do and have like a logo. Hey, Marcel, what's up, man? Hey, Cuzzo. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I'm trying my best out here. You know, like it's tough, but somebody have to do it, and I want to make sure it's, you know, I want to spread Merc around. Work on cousins here, like in the family. We get like something going, um, draw it up, and then sell it. You know, collaborate with like wrestling and anime. That's what I want to like throw out there. So that's my first thing I'm going to do. Just get it out there. Say, hey, we like to have fun. Watch anime and watch wrestling. Will do. Will do. Got some cousins. Got cousins all around that could do everything. And it's wild and it's fun. I will let you know, okay? So, yeah. And like, that's a mission I want to do. Like, just spread that around to let everybody know, like, hey, man, you could watch wrestling. You could watch anime. Love you too, man. Love you too. You bet. I got the bet. Bet. Big time bet. So, so I'm just gonna, spread that word. Going to take it one step at a time. Let everybody know, hey, let's have fun with this. I'm going to continue to talk wrestling, but also watch anime. But wrestling should be acceptable in any pop culture. It's in rap culture. It's in It's everywhere basically. So it's no difference in the culture of like anime and all that, the shows we watch, because everybody enjoys it one way or another. So say, oh, I don't like watching wrestling. Guess what? You do at some point, because you have folks like, oh, what was that move? Why is she doing this? Why is she wrestling? Wrestling, you know? And I know my daughter's probably is right next to me and things, but I tell her sometimes, if you were on a good, lesson about, musicals and things like that, watch a little bit of wrestling. You know, learn how to win the crowd over, learn how to lose a crowd over. Know your face, know your heel. When you're a good guy, you do good tactics. When you a bad guy, you gotta make sure you let people don't like you at all. She like this one. She don't like this one character. I mean, this one wrestler. I think it's she
Is
don't
it?
like.
Are you talking about Dom?
Yeah, she don't like Dom. You know, she don't like Dominic Mysterio. She don't like him at all. Yeah, like she right now she's every time she hears that man's name, like glass break everywhere, like a black cat walk across the street, somebody walking over under the ladder. That name is possibly banned in our household because she don't like him at all. But I said this on the at my panel, like when wrestling was like when Paige, or now Soraya, is in town. When she was in town, she said this. Somebody asked her the question like, "Why nobody don't like Bella Twins? Why are they booing them?" The answer was this. Her answer was quite clear on this, which I strongly agreed with. The reason why, people boo, like if you boo somebody, like a bad guy, they're doing their job right. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. It means they're doing their job right. The more you boo somebody, the more they're doing their job right completely. And that's what I go by that code every time I hear it. Like, oh, why they booing this guy? Because they're doing their job right as wrestlers. And that's what you want to do. Just proud, like just simple things like wrestling is just amazing. It's a form of art. It's a form of, just learning how to win and lose a crowd over. Certain things will teach you a lot of things about wrestling. Like, you got the heels, you got the face. Like I said, my daughter learns a lot of things from just, watching wrestling just a little bit. She said, I'm not a big fan of it, but yet she loved Rhea Ripley because it's just how she present herself, and at first she was the bad guy and now she's like mommy vibes. I mean, a lot of folks love Rhea, but my daughter said it is learning just because on how to sell a crowd over. It's okay to be the bad guy at one point in the show, but folks will like the bad guy. Razor Ramon, at first, like, why he's a bad guy? Why? But his bad guy ways becomes, pop culture. Wearing the gold chains, having the toothpick, saying, hey, yo, Chico. Those are things that absolutely define a culture, but also in Japan. Let's run a little bit of Japan stuff, man. Like, what's so important? Why it's so important? Why it's needed? Did some like research when I was like years back, saying that they take their wrestling serious as if they're like sports competitors, man. As if, they want them to like succeed or things that, like wrestling's like football to them. Like, when it comes down to like, okay, when there's a tournament, folks enjoy it to a point that like, oh my God, I'm rooting for this guy. I hope he wins this whole thing. And they treat it like a sport. They treat it like a pure sport. Other like an like over here, we treat it as an entertainment. But over there, they treat it as if it's like a major sport. When they see a wrestler, oh my God, this is amazing. Why do you think some of these wrestlers go over to Japan? Because they want to be not just treated as an entertainer, but also, as if like an athlete, which they are very athletic. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you'll get what I'm saying. Uh, just having that in general is just so cool. Like, it's well known. Like in Japan, it's just so crazy. So give me a second here. I'm gonna search something up real quick. If you're just tuning in, like I'm going on a little bit of history of like why, what I was doing at Sangawa Project, why it's so important, like what are my goals and things like that, just to get everybody to understand like Japanese part of Japanese pop culture. Oh, excuse me. And also, um, you know, I was just watching like some of the like training for Japanese, like, wrestling, pro wrestlers. It is intense, like just in general, it's just so intense, but that's why they are respected a lot, in like culture and everything. And I enjoy it, like they going to like different miles and miles and miles just to get to that point of like being well known, and it's just been so it, it's a need, for a lot of folks, and that's how I feel about it. Like, I'm so sorry if I'm trying to process all this in because I'm a little tired from Singapore, but uh, this whole thing, when folks sit up here and say it doesn't belong at an anime pop culture con, it does belong. I'm going to continue to say this, but back to what I was saying about my panel at Sangawa Project. Okay, my panel was about just the news, what's going on in today's news of wrestling. So what I covered in was the smack, the smack that rocks the wrestling world. Um, what did the smack do for this whole wrestling in general, WWE in general? And I said this, I brought this up, and I said it's going to elevate this brand. It makes people believe once more. Now we're in a gray spot. What's kayfabe? What's not? And I was like, damn, like this slap it felt real. Like, shit, he slapped the piss out of this man. I'm like, dude, what the heck's going on? Why he slapped him like that? Now, like, and then the more you think about it, you're like, oh, they're making this more feel so real. And that's what was missing in wrestling. That blurred line. Because this gentleman at my panel brought this up. He said, "Was that slap real, or was it like, you know, a shoot? Just, you know, they planned it." And I'm like, "We don't know because you know why? They're making it feel so real." A lot of folks, and then I pulled, and then like I was coming across some folks, was like who never watched wrestling a day of their lives, and then boom, like damn, like this is like I think it was a young lady, like what's going on? Like why you got Rhea Ripley cardboard cut out? First of all, she didn't know who the hell Rhea Ripley is, but I gave her the knowledge of this is Rhea Ripley. She's the Raw's Women Champion, and then she's like, oh, she's very beautiful. She's pretty. Like what makes her special? So I showed her make her special and everything, and also her stack pin, shall we say? And she's like, oh my god, she is so wonderful and she's so perfect. So back to the conversation about the whole thing with the smack, the rock slap. Uh, it's going to change the world of how we see, not change the wrestling world on how to win back a crowd. And since we're in like the 21st century, we don't know what's real. We don't know what's fake. I mean, we could go online and literally like, okay, let's look up the dirt sheets and see what's going to happen next and stuff. Right now, we don't know what's going to happen next. Triple H have done something that was pretty interesting, man. Like with this press conference, and like somebody once again brought it up, like because before I started my panel, I replayed everything what happened during the week of wrestling, but with the whole thing with Triple H trying to establish his power towards The Rock. The Rock threatens Triple H, basically saying, if you don't fix this, we'll fix it ourselves. That kind of brings like everything into perspective on everything. Like, I mean, damn, like remember when Roman, like, I'm the head of the household, I'm the tribal chief. Now you look at Roman now with The Rock. He's like a lackey now. Roman, he's a champion, but at some point he's following The Rock's footsteps. You see how fast like The Rock became, like when The Rock established his role, and all of a sudden Roman's like, oh, and he just went, that alpha role just went down. I'm like, wow. So that kind of puts that into perspective with Roman Reigns' like position with, with The Rock, where he is at with The Rock. The Rock, everybody said, oh, he's Hollywood Rock. I said, this is not Hollywood Rock. This has never been Hollywood Rock. This Hollywood Rock is behind him at some point. He's still Hollywood Rock, but he's still behind him. But this is like the higher, end Rock. This is the chief. Like he is the higher chief, like of the table. And I was like, oh damn, like he might have a new moniker. Like, give me a second. So I'm gonna ask the question. Give me a good minute. Let me look at the bloodline, family tree real quick. Because the family tree tells you a lot. I mean, like, what is the tree telling us? Everybody, The Rock said it was cool, which it was cool because it tells us where what's going on. It gives you a perspective of like who's part of the tree, who's looking. So let me zoom in on that. Oh yeah, let me get that in there real quick. Yeah, The Rock he's still The Rock, but he's just a high chief. He's literally the higher chief of everybody. And that's the wild thing about it. Like The Rock is literally like up there. And wow. I'm just looking at this whole family tree. hmm And big shout outs, I'm a Stiller fan, huge Stiller fan. When I seen Tamina's name with the last name with Palomalu, I'm like, that's awesome. That's an awesome thing. But back to the thing. Back to what I was talking about, like the little recap and everything. Folks brought up some good points on that. You know, we are in a blurred line. This is what wrestling was missing, for a good while. Because if you think about it, this was a big thing that's being needed. Like, we need just that blurred line. We don't know if it's real. We don't know what's not real. We need that. Because, like I said, social media will spoil anything in a heartbeat. But now we're sitting up here like, damn, I can't wait till the next pay-per-view. And it's going to be a good pay-per-view that's coming up on the 24th, and that's the Elimination Chamber, which I'm going to come into next. We're just talking about the Elimination Chamber, who's going to win the men, who's going to win the women. My prediction was this. The men, it will be Drew McIntyre, and the women, unfortunately, it's going to be Becky Lynch. Why them? Why do you want them two to be the winners? Becky Lynch and Drew McIntyre. First, let's go to the women's side. Becky Lynch has been on a roll as late. She's going to win the Rumble, but however, how this Elimination Chamber is going to play out is going to be interesting because now you got Nia Jax in the mix. I think Nia Jax is the biggest threat to not only Rhea, but also to Becky. And I like the whole fact, like, Becky and Nia's like sitting up here exchanging blows to each other saying, well, Nia said, oh, well, I made the man. Guess what? She made the man. If it wasn't the crimson blood and everything all over her, we would not have Becky Lynch the man. And Nia Jax made that happen. And then folks said, like, she injures people. I said, she cleaned up a little bit. And now you have the whole thing with Rhea Ripley. Now, like, Nia Jax is like, I'm squashing people. I'm going to squash people. People are booing the shit out of her. And she loving it. And I enjoying it. But I think it's going to be one of them two. It's going to be Becky Lynch that's going to win. But Nia Jax is still going to be the threat. Like, she's the pinnacle threat right now. Bianca Belair, she's there. But you got to give her a little bit of time to warm up once again. Like, she's still warm, but, well, she's going to be skating hot. Right now, they're just going to plan out the whole thing with Bianca and Jade down the line. That's why I'm saying, don't put Bianca in the title picture yet. Just wait till, like, excuse me. Get Jade going. Get that engine going with Jade and everything. And then you got Bianca. Get her some matches in. Get Jade some matches in. Then Bianca. That'd be kosher. As far as the men, I want Drew McIntyre to win. This gentleman brought up a great point. Sami Zayn should win it. I said, wow. having Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins fighting each other for the belt. That'd be actually a good match. Um, but right now, Sami Zayn got to build his character up just a little bit more to be back where he at. Because throughout the whole years of him being a wrestler, like with the bloodline, they made him silly. Like for the past years, they made him so fucking silly, and nobody couldn't take him serious. But they did an interview with him, and they said, "Oh, he's going to be more serious wrestler. He should be a much serious wrestler because he's so good. His bout matches with KO. We brought up the whole situation with KO and everything. His AEW, not his AEW run, but his Ring of Honor run. He had good runs. Sammy, when that gentleman brought that up, I'm like, damn, yeah, like he should become like one, like the guy who's part of that whole, championship picture. But right at this moment, they need to build his character up and wash anything silly what he did down the line. But don't get me wrong, his bloodline run was pretty damn good. It was silly, but at the same time, it was pretty damn good. But it's time for him to clean up the ways of becoming an actual legitimate wrestler once again. And when the gentleman just said, like, yeah, I see him being, the guy, the go-to guy. Like, just give him time. But back to my winner is Drew McIntyre. The reason why you want Drew McIntyre to win is this. Win the Elimination Chamber is this. He's been a threat. I look at who's the most biggest threat to not just the champion, but in the division in general. And it's been Drew McIntyre. He was tired of being in the back of the line. He was getting pushed to the back of the line. Nobody was like giving him an opportunity, but every time he get an opportunity, it's just like, it's infuriated. But I feel that I always felt like he's always been like this entity of like becoming a psychopath at this point. And also he has been, he's been like trolling CM Punk about his injury, which that's amazing because that's planting the whole storyline together at this point. And we want that to happen. Right now, like the whole thing with Drew McIntyre being an ass towards CM Punk, that brings a dynamic to the story too. But also, people kind of forget, where do Damian Priest fall in line in this? Where do he fall in line in this? I don't know. But that's the mystery behind the Money in the Bank now. Like, what WWE have in store for us. But those are my two winners. And then I jumped into the subject of big business, AEW big business. What will it bring to AEW? What is the thing with AEW? How would it benefit AEW? The answer is this: whoever they signed, hopefully it's the big go-to. Like, and I said this as well, like they're going to sign a lot of guys. I think, they're bringing in former WWE stars. Hopefully that they go over. But what make big business a big deal? Because it's in Boston. Hopefully they put it in the bank. Of course, we all know it's Monet, but some of us know her as Sasha Banks. So Sasha Banks is going to return to the going to be part of the AEW roster. I We've seen this a mile away, but would this do good for the women's division? Hell yeah, it does. But Tony Khan needs to start fixing some shit first, as far as it goes. His booking need to be fixed. We covered that, like um, his booking has been like just damn, like dude, you have all these talented wrestlers, but yet you can't book worth for shit. Somebody brought that up. He just need to fix that. And then you had like the women's part of it. You know, they need work a little bit. And also, like somebody brought this up, like I think it was the tag team belts in WWE and everything. I I said fucking tag team belts in WWE is just fucking flat terrible. It's just bad. They need to do a lot of things with these belts, but I said the main thing they need to do is just merge the damn belts together. Instead of making these two belt crap for the tag team belts, they need to just merge these belts back together and redefine the tag team division. You have a couple tag teams that are there, but you gotta redefine it. One thing I can honestly say about, because, oh yeah, the subject was about will the WWE bring a triple, 6-man tag belt? I said no, because like I said, their division is washed at this moment. But I'll give you this though, AEW got one of the best tag teams divisions right now in wrestling. Even the triple man, like the 6-man belts they have, like this triple crown belts they have at AEW. I feel they're the best. They have one of the best belts, like, for tag teams at AEW. But WWE need to work on their tag team shit, man. It's just so bad, like, at this moment. Like, the women tag team belts are struggling, and the men's, they don't know where to point a direction to the men's tag belts. But like I said, AEW have the best tag belts right now in wrestling at this point. But as far as WWE, no. But they need to work on it. And that's one of the subjects was brought, and I was like, okay, cool, that was a good subject we was talking about. Next we was talking about, like, the one thing I was talking about was shoot to the moon. Like, there's a segment called shoot to the moon. Who should we shoot to the moon? And I said Strickland. Of course, he's in the picture of in the wrestling, in the championship picture. If Tony Khan don't push this man to a point, then we have a problem. Excuse me. They need to push Strickland, because right now he's the man. Dude, he is the man. But somebody brought this up. So another thing they said to shoot is, who was it? Sami Zayn was one. Who was another one? Damn, I should have put the notes on this one. Pete Dunne was another one I heard. Derby was another one. But I said Strickland because Strickland was the main guy, though. Folks was making a lot of valid information about this guy, like valid information on this. And I was like, oh, dude, like, you're making great valid like it was really valid. Certain things these the folks at my panel was making good valid for, like Pete Dunne should be pushed into like the intercontinental picture. I said this. I said I think the intercontinental belt is more. What was it? I was looking for. It's more prestige now because of Gunther. Uh, Dragunov about to get that push pretty soon. I feel Dragunov will be an amazing fucking push for like an intercontinental run at some point. And then I said this about the belts. Like, I don't know how I'm just jumping the belt to. Well, anyway, so belts to human belts. I don't know why I'm doing that, but anyway, um, I honestly think the next person, like, as far as the belt goes, I will go with like, you know, Logan Paul's been doing good. I think Waller should be the next one, be pushed pretty decent, and Austin Theory be next. AEW Derby should be literally fucking pushed to the fucking moon already. But they got him tag belts, which that's understandable, but he should have been pushed a little bit more. You know, be in the in the championship run. There's a lot of people that you could actually push at this moment, and I agree with everybody whoever said, you know, certain, you know, wrestlers should be pushed, and I agreed. I wish I could give you the whole list of wrestlers that was named, but it was pretty decent. It was a pretty decent push. But as far as the belts goes, like somebody brought up, like I said, somebody brought up the belts as part of this conversation. The part of the conversation was like they need another belt in WWE. I said no, like a 24-hour belt. I said no, that belt's too silly. Just about too silly. They're doing right with these belts. Like your 2-hit belts give everybody a chance because the top is pretty stacked. The top is stacked. It's very stacked. You know, anybody could get an opportunity. Do you have the Intercontinental belt? Like now it's more prestige at this point. And then you have the United States belt. Instead of being this, you know, oh, this is a trash belt. It's not a trash belt no more. People haven't noticed this, but the United States belt is more geared to the younger wrestlers that's coming up. Like, let's say Braun Breaker comes up. He's going to probably be part of that run of the United States belt.
Is there like a paper towel or something I can use to wipe up water I just spilled on the floor?
Yeah, there is. There's Kleenexes right there. Sorry. Sorry, child. Sorry. Well, just talking to my child. Well, I feel Braun Breaker. Like I said, the example was Braun Breaker. Like they could have the United States belts there. Like that's what the United States belt is for. But the only problem I have at this moment is this. You know, like I said, it's the tag team division. The tag team divisions always will be like if Triple H get like a tag team tournament together, refresh the damn tag team, you know, area out, make it much better, then we're good to go. Another thing somebody brought up was pretty interesting, but I also agree, but it's going to take time just a little bit. The women should have their own show. It's time for the women to have their own show. And I agree with that. But it's going to take time. But what's saying is, I think the women of wrestling should be like in WWE should have their own show. And speaking of shows, the WWE just announced a whole new show with Twitter or X, we call it, and it's called Speed. It's 5 minute matches. They said, which is uh, probably a prototype, but it's going to be interesting to see that. In and out, in and out, in and out. Going to be interesting. Um, it's going to be interesting to see that. But the next thing I was going to say, I forgot what I was about to say. Um, hmm. Damn. What was the other topic we covered? I know shooting a promo that was hilarious. But what was the subject we was talking about? This is how tired I am, man. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend, but it was a fun weekend. Um, we covered the one show, Speed. We covered. Oh, the Elimination Chamber. We covered the Road to WrestleMania. We covered. Um, Shooting a promo. I just about covered that, but the hilarious thing about shooting a promo was some dude took it too seriously. He just tossed the chair. I don't know what he was doing, but he just said, "Screw this chair!" And he just tossed the chair. I hope he didn't do any damage. So, uh, but other than that, you know, just to sum up everything I just said and everything, uh, my goal is just to make sure like wrestling get noticed in cons like this, and I'm going to be there no matter what. I'm happy to do this, and I want to continue to strive to do this. I got Merc coming up soon. Hopefully, we'll work on that. Um, but other than that, I'm about to log off for tonight because I got work in the morning. Now, hopefully, somebody's going to hear me snore half to death. But other than that, thank y'all for watching. We're going to catch up a little bit tomorrow. Going to get some shut eye. Gotta get to work tomorrow. But other than that, have a blessed one and good night, ladies